the bent over row. We're going to be bent over into the torso or hinging at the hips and performing a rowing or pulling action. So remember, rowing refers to drawing toward the body, like rowing a boat. Only in this case, we're going to be bent over. Now we can use an assortment of tools. We can use dumbbells, kettlebells, or barbells, and we'll kind of go over a little bit about the benefits or drawbacks of using such items. So for instance, the dumbbells. They are free of one another, independent in terms of movement, and though this is a bilateral exercise, it may reveal that one side is a little bit more challenged than the other. That's the nice thing about using dumbbells, is that it might very well help to balance out the strength from one side to the other. So to start off with, you're going to have a soft bend to your knees, and you're going to be hinging at the hips so that your back is going to stay fairly flat, or not flexed at least, and not extended, but somewhere in the middle. So what might be a nice way to set this up is to explore flexion and extension and then find that middle point. So in that position, the torso is really leaned over quite far. In fact, you can go so far as to get the shoulders at about the same height as the hips. And in this position, the arms dangle down so that they're hanging below the shoulders. I'm going to try and drive the elbows above the back and then lower back down so that they're at a full hang. The head wants to stay pretty neutral as I do that exercise. Now you notice I said pull with the elbow or bring the elbow up. So I'm not trying to focus on my hand doing any of the lifting, because then what might happen is this kind of cobra neck will occur in my wrist, a lot of flexion. Instead, focusing on the elbow will allow me just to keep the hand from really trying to pull with the forearm and get much more focus into the mid-back, say between the shoulder blades, the middle trapezius or rhomboid muscles. Of course, there's other muscles involved, but if we can get those elbows out away from the body as pulling, then that's where a lot of the focus is going to be. Now, aside from the dumbbells, we can use a barbell. And the barbell, more or less the same way. You can start off with about a shoulder width grip, hinging at the hips. You can also begin by finding out where flexion and extension lie and find halfway in between. And in this position, breathe out as you lift, breathe in as it descends back down. Now the barbell's nice because you're able to hold on with both hands and you can work a little bit of balance. The drawback is the stronger arm's probably going to kick in just a little bit more, so it's not going to necessarily give you a good, strong, balancing kind of routine in terms of the strength from left to right. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with the bilateral exercises and using barbells. We've been doing it for years and years. But if all you're using is the barbell, then we'll have to have a conversation about that at another time. Instead, we can use dumbbells every now and then with the barbell, alternating back and forth. You get kind of the best of both worlds. You can also use the kettlebells. Now, the kettlebells themselves can be nice as a change of pace, but the drawback to the kettlebells is, as you can see, the bell itself dangles quite far below my hand. So if I were to get into that bent over position, well, the kettlebells are touching the ground right now. So maybe I want to practice just lifting and then releasing the weight back on the ground. If I'm looking to stay loaded with my arms straight, well, using the kettlebells, I'm going to have to stand on a box or a step or something to allow my arm length and the kettlebell's depth not to touch the ground. It's not bad that you use the kettlebells if that's your choice, but just make sure that your intention is either releasing the load on the ground and then gripping and then loading and bracing to lift on up, or you have to raise your feet up off the ground onto a box or something so that you're continually staying suspended. But always, like any other exercise, we're going to assess the body. Move, do the exercise, and then reassess. Continually checking in. Is this what I need in this moment?